Okay. So today, what we're going to be working on is we're going to be looking at a tool that was developed by Plebes XYZ called WallDraw tool, which lets us just draw and you get like a line on camera and it just makes a wall. Sounds really cool. We're going to try to make something, something that probably uses walls, maybe something castle influenced, or maybe even Attack on Titan. Who knows? I don't. This is about to be an adventure. So let's take a look at this tool right now. Currently, you can get it for free, which is pretty crazy. It's got 2 reviews, and it was developed by Plebes XYZ. Here's a little video showing some of its utility and how it can be used. So we're going to do our best to achieve this. Very cool. Different types of walls. It's all in GeoNodes. Okay, there's some drag and drop features here. All right, there's a library that is apparently populated with stuff on file. So that's really, didn't know that. It's good to know. Asset libraries, good. Asset, blah, blah, blah. Probably review that in a second. Okay. So this documentation seems pretty thorough, which is really useful. Oh, man. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Oh, my goodness. That is quite a node. These are some examples of renders that utilize the wall. You can notice the wall here. And you can see some of the wall here. So it renders out really good. Five stars so far. That's what I'm expecting. All right. I'll probably go back to this page and I'll be needing to probably digest some of this material. But for now, I just kind of want to like dive in and see how intuitive this can be. So let me drop out that window and turn back on my camera. I think that's all set up proper. All right, let me get what's going on here? Things are being weird. All right, I'm going to close. No, I'm actually going to minimize that. And what's being difficult with my computer here? It's pretty weird. I'm having a hard time just grabbing a window. There we go. Why did that take so long? Is it going to mess up for me again? Can I just grab? Okay, I can just grab it. Nope. Keep it about that size. All right. So this is what the file looks like when you download it and you open it for the first time. You're greeted with this, which is a nice plane. Got some displacement going on here. We've also got the libraries open. Asset libraries are local directories. I can... Huh. It looks like I've never used libraries in Blender. All right, we are going to look at that later. We got a wall here. It's got a couple things happening. It has a arch and some breaks, which are produced by little tiny lines here. Now, these are curves up in our scene. We have this is all one curve item, and this is all another curve item. So we only have two independent curves doing two different things. All right, that makes sense. Let's just... I'm just going to select these and Shift D that in here. Okay, so little things will make holes in a wall. That's very cool. Obviously, we can make an arch. So I'm just going to duplicate that individual vertice with Shift D, and I'm going to extrude that up, extrude that over, and extrude that over. And we've got something that is maybe not positioned where it needs to be. Yes, it was not close enough into the wall. Okay, so position does matter. And I'm going to try to adjust this a little more. All right. Hey, that's fairly controllable. Very cool. Look at that shape we're able to make. And yeah, still makes it pretty big. So what if I move it farther from the wall? Okay. Yeah. We can control the amount of stones being placed. We can control the size of the cut based on how close it is to the wall. Pretty cool. My camera turned off without me noticing. Let me slap that back on. All right. So now we also have something else here, is this guy. So if I just tab into this, I'm thinking I should just be able to grab that, Shift D, place it wherever I want, and just extrude, and just get a good wall made here. A little E for extrusion again, E for extrusion again, and I want to rotate that because I don't like its position. I want to scale that down too. And I'm just having a little fun here. Okay. And I'm going to select that, and how do you... I don't want to do it with meshes. I'm still kind of getting used to curves, but I want to close this gap. Well, it's not giving me quite what I want. Oh, well, it is. Look at that. Hang on a second. All right, well, that's one way to close it. Hitting F or connecting them does not actually seem to connect the wall. Or, hang on, let me go back. All right, so those are not connected now. And that means, let me grab one of these. I have them both grabbed. No, I just want this one. How does that influence on the connection? Okay, all right, so it definitely understands that when you place it right next to a wall or close enough, it's trying to understand that we've got a connection here because we're looking at that change dramatically. And all I'm doing is grabbing it. Maybe that's just the... That's hard to tell. I mean, either way, that just place it well, and you're looking at something that's good enough. In fact, we can even undo that. Hit extrude by accident. Just rotate this and not rotate it that much. Get it a little bit more to the proper angle. Just kind of grab that. Just kind of force them into each other. I mean, I don't know. That's probably fine enough. Okay. All right, so we got this. Can we change parameters? Cyclic. Oh. I think that's what I probably was looking for. What's going on? Why can't I? There it is. All right. So let me grab this one and move it away. And just as expected, it closed it off. Perfect. Rotation is terrible. Okay. Make it a little bigger. And cool. Okay. Get back out of edit mode. Let's see what else we got. And so that's a switch that turns it off and on. That's really cool. You can adjust the seed. And this might crash. Just like my camera keeps turning off. Let's undo that. Yeah, I got to get a better camera for streaming. It's pretty irritating how it shuts off. Yeah. All right, come on, Blender. So the resample length is going to change the resolution sampled across the path. So jamming this up to a small distance or down to a small distance like I did, I have it at 0.0 meters. It is not treating Blender very well. And there we go. So let's scale this all up then. Let's bring this back to a meter and something. All right, face count seems to give us a height. The cut there, that's pretty nice. Oh, that's really cool. I'm liking that. Lots of great diversity put here for type of shape of wall. What did I do? Did I break it? I need to just not randomly slide resample length. Yeah, that is tough on my computer right now. And I have a decent CPU, so it shouldn't really be that hard. I'm bringing it back to 1. Wankiness. What does wankiness do? It does that. Makes it wanky. We got merge, remesh. erode. All right, that influences the rocks that appear on the faces. That's good to know. Remesh step +1. All right, we can make the rocks a little smaller and more dense. That's pretty nice. Merge by distance, 2 meters. Oh, all right, we are getting some interesting things happening here. 1.5. Big stones. All right, merge by distance is probably not what I really want to kind of play too much with. Triangulate face area. Okay, so I guess this is the triangularness of the stones, which we can push to negative and positive values. Let's see, subsurface level. All right. Ooh. Okay, we're getting some fancy detail here. Gonna push it to 4. It's not like in 4. Probably not gonna stick to 4. And those things get really sharp looking. This isn't gonna show up. There's no light in my scene. Let me go back. And we're gonna put that back at 2. Now we got a few controls here. We've got stone gap, scale portability, stone gap scale. This is a lot to do with how close and far apart the stones are. And I could probably turn that down. Interesting. Can make the stones tessellate outwards much more. And make our whole wall thicker and chunkier. That's kind of fun. Oh, can completely remove the mortar. Let me reshape this wall a little bit. Oh, I touched the resample length. Oh, that looks like a really nice sort of Irish stone wall. All right, is this going to load up proper? Ooh. It's a little slow. Camera just dipped out again. There we are. All right, it loaded that all in. Got some good looking stuff here. Let's turn up our world intensity a little bit. And that's fine. Now, what do I want to do? I want to change this a little bit. Yeah, really low stone wall. little wanky. You know, this also, with a different material texture, would pass as wood, chopped wood. A procedural wood pile generator is very possible with this, because it's basically at this level of, what did I do here? Widths that I put them at, which makes them very long. We definitely have stuff that could easily pass as wood. Let me fix up these arrangements here. And that's a lot closer to stone. Okay. We get a little bit of a gap happening here. I don't know if that is something that I have done. Let's just get rid of those gaps and make everything nice and even. Make all that stuff tight. I'm going to push that to 3. I just want to see them. Cool, cool. Yeah, we do not have it fully sitting down quite as much as it should. Let me know. Can I change this? There's a merge distance. No, that's not what I need. Although, gives us bigger and smaller rocks. Okay. Is there anything to move it down closer down through the floor? I'm not seeing a height control. Camera turned off again. I just noticed that. I'm probably just going to leave it off next time it goes because it's really annoying having to keep track of that and turn it on. So, yeah. Noise strength. Mesh level noise strength. Okay. Let's make that 0.1. All right, this is influencing the overall level of mesh. You know, this would also be great if this was oriented 90 degrees instead of going up vertical. This would make a great stone path also. Okay. Yeah, there's just control over the Z position. So I don't think this is built with the intention of me being able to change the overall orientation of the wall. But this would be a really nice stone path generator. Would need a different texture probably. Lots of cool textures online and procedural stuff that could be built for that. Now I'm, oh wait, dirt height. What does this do? What does that do? Dirt height. Drop it back down. Come on. Go all the way down. I should just, oh, here we go. So dirt height at 0. This is going to, yeah. That's kind of cool. It's like, kind of like an ambient occlusion, but with dirt. Yo, what's up, dude? How you doing? Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, please just release this. It's a really fun tool so far. I'm going to try to see if I can make like a castle with it. But I'm just exploring it all right now. How you doing? Looks like you're in the user library of the asset library instead of the linked one. That sounds correct. A dirt castle wall, yeah. I'm probably going to mess with some of the shaders at some point. Oh, that's what's up, dude. Feeling more healthy? That's a good thing. Always good to feel more healthy. I was kind of marveling at how if there was a way to control what access... Oh, this fucking camera. A way to control what axis this is aligned with, because it's only got the Z position. If we just have it on, like, being horizontal, like with the X or the Y, whatever, then it would look like a really good stone pathway that has great control for that too. With basically the same tree, it'd be cool. It'd be really kind of cool to set that up. Well, the walls, I've tweaked into this. This isn't how they're actually supposed to look. Let me see if I can go backwards. I'm just going to do Command Z a lot. And then it crashed. All right. Gonna open that up again. This is a little big. Okay, I pushed it too hard. That was the problem. So this is how it looks out of the gate. And I've got it in workbench mode, just because that seemed like it was a little easier. But let me switch us over to something else. And why is this being so tough? Why is my computer like locking up right now? There it is. All right, let's get this. Let's get this off GPU. And I guess this needs to be an experimental, which is something I didn't know. All right. Got no lights in here. So let me change my scene world. Let's just turn that strength up a little bit. And we're going to put this at 2 samples because that sounds easy. Yeah, so that's how the wall looks like out of the gate, where it's got nice and rendered looking good stuff. I do wish there was a way to control how low it sits, maybe push it down a little farther. This looks really pretty, just at 2 samples. That's fucking cool. The controls, since you dropped in, I'll just kind of quickly go over them really. In terms of how to draw, you've got 2 curved nodes and curved lines in here. 1 to destroy the wall and 1 to draw the wall. So with this one selected, I'm just tabbing into edit mode. And you can just like extrude directly off this one, or I can like Shift D and start my own adventure by extruding that. And it does like a really good job of making sure to follow the curve. Like that ray casting, if that's what he used, is really good. All right, I'm getting rid of this camera. It's pissing me off. I don't like having to turn it off and on constantly. So there goes my face. It's probably better because you can see more of the Blender window. All right, so then with these ones selected, you can just use these to destroy some stuff. And I actually want to see more where that is. Okay, so these ones actually have to be placed properly with the wall. And I extruded that instead of duplicating that. So I'm just going to Shift D and bring that back over. And if you just put one vertex in the wall, you get yourself a nice little window that cuts through really good. Grabbing the wrong key. And if we just sort of scale this individual one up, Never mind, that didn't do anything. We just extrude it out. We can control the shape of the gap. We can make a nice little door. Just want to make sure that this is positioned proper. It could actually be moved a little farther into the wall, and I think we'll get a clean cut. And we do. Just going to G and Z it down, and now we got like a little doorway. And that cuts really nicely. I'm going to do a door and a window by duplicating Shift D and Y and just dragging one of these over. I'm going to move it up a little bit. And it's giving us a big cut, so then I'm going to grab it and move it a little bit away from the wall so that we can get a slightly smaller cut. And I think I'm going to move it a little farther away. There. Yeah, that gives like a decent size kind of window. So if we select the actual wall here, we can come over to our modifier panel. Have fun, dude. Have a good call. I'll be here. We can control the wall height, the face count by just increasing that. We can make it go higher. And it peaks at 10. But I actually wonder if I can type it in to something taller. Nope, it peaks at 10. I'm going to get out of render view just because this is a little easier to look at. So the resample length is, I'm pretty sure, controlling the density of the mesh. So if we just crank that to a large value, we should be able to notice that it is stretching it out really poorly. So we're getting a more spaced out difference from side to side. And I guess, what if I drop that? Okay, so we push that, push those, do that. And let's drag this back down. Oh God, no. Oh, I'm gonna crash it. I think I slid too far. Okay, I didn't, but let's see how that looks. Can I cycles that? I can. And this actually gives us a very cool sort of Cliffs of Insanity vibe. Which is very, very cool. I'm just admiring this. Like this, I like this, honestly. This looks good. This is intense on the computer. Like my computer doesn't like it. And making any adjustments at this type of resample length takes about a minute for anything to change. So obviously, do things at your own risk. And this could be cool, sort of like with a different texture. This could be a nice sort of reed wall, like a wall of reeds or sticks. Since they're so tall and compressed together, that's probably not the best way to do that. I'm going to push this to 0.8. And we're going to do the face count up to 10 again. And the cope face count is, we're just going to pull that off. One thing I do wish that I had a little more control with had to do, I guess, with pushing the height farther. Um, it's a bit low. And I know I can, I don't know, like is that really as high as it gets? What am I missing here? It gets higher if I push up the cope face. Okay, so it's kind of cool. That would be nice if like doing another retexture here, and we could make these look like really good wooden beams jettisoning in out of the top of the wall. Dude, there is a lot of potential with this. This is really great, plebes. I don't know if you're watching, but if you are, you've made something. This is really cool. A lot of this is very intuitive too. It's fun. It's good to play with. Yeah, I wish I could make the overall height of the wall about as tall as I could dream. I feel limited in how high I can make the wall. What if I make that 8? What does that look like? If I make that 10. This is going to hurt my computer if I push it higher. 13. I guess I can sort of make it artificially higher by kind of forcing those things to, I guess, push into each other. The modulos. If I make that 0.3, how wacky does that get intense by? It gets kind of wacky. How's the top look here? Does it do like kind of like a very cool sort of top? It's pretty interesting top. So with the face pushed to 0, and we only have medullos popping up. Let's make that 0.2. And yeah, I'm going to put that remesh back off. Further inputs for walls. Hey, plebes, thanks for dropping in, dude. I have not discovered that yet. I have tried not to mess too much with this yet. I was just sort of exploring the controls that go on here. And I was going to save diving into the geonodes for later. I just want to let you know, plebes, I am impressed with what you've done. I'm going to undo some of what I've done, hopefully, and get this back to a better looking wall. Yeah, it's something a little bit more appropriate. Okay, so I think I've kind of gone through all of these controls about as much as I can. So I guess the next step is for me to dive into the geonodes. Yeah, please, actually, I want to follow you too. I'm going to do that later. Make sure I follow both of you guys. What am I doing here? I need to look at geonodes, and we've got a behemoth. My goodness. Okay, we're going to need to restructure. Golly, look at all that. So those are the inputs. Offset height, min height. Okay, okay. All right, this is how I get to make things taller. Ask and thou shalt receive. Max height, we can push that taller. Oh, dude, perfect. Oh, dude, that's fucking awesome. Okay, so now we got another mortar offset, and we've got the cope shape offset. What if I mess with that? What is that going to do for me? All right, it looks like we're affecting the top shape here with those modulus. So let's put that back to 7. Or is it not doing that? I'm not understanding what that's doing. Oh, plebes, this is fun. Like, this is a very fun tool. Deactive slide. Okay, I don't know what that's doing. Let me get out of render view. Maybe that's fucking me up. Oh, perfect. This is how I can actually push it a little deeper. Because there were some spots where it was popping up over the negative 0.1. Come on. Popping up over the floor. And I was getting gaps appear. And now I can push it down so nothing is poking up through the mesh. Because, yeah, was it 0.5? Well, it's working now. I guess after it crashed and reopened, it seems like it's doing a lot better with itself. Distance multiplier. Okay, more mortar controls. That's what's up. There's the noise direction. Weld. False bowline. Interesting. That's doing something. Seems like we're getting slightly smaller rocks appearing at the edge of our stones. I don't know if that's really what's happening here, but it looks like it. Show distorted base mesh. Okay, whoa, look at that. This, well, actually, in some ways, this is kind of much easier to look at with the computer when designing the basics. And especially when dealing with the resample length. If I slide with my mouse, like, it's gonna crash my computer if I'm not paying attention. And having like a nice show distorted base mesh here lets me kind of play around a little bit more freely without worrying about crashing my computer accidentally. What is the noise doing? Okay, that's not something I'm going to see in this view. All right. So that's really fucking great. What do I want to do? What is this going to do? Doesn't seem to do anything. You know, this kind of looks like a scale generator, like for a lizard. Plebes, there's a lot of great creative versatility you've done with this tool. I hope you understand that. The way that this kind of distorts itself out is fucking awesome. It's, you know, keeping everything proportional. Oh, sorry, I'm not even looking at chat. You should see Plebes here in the VC on the server. He's not the concept, seen the product on stream. That's good. Man, that's fucking fun. All right, let me see what I've got selected here. What's actually getting looked at? All right, let me go to a curve. Get that wall of stones here. And what happens if I just add in a circle? I'm going to move it this way. And I scale it up. And that appears to not do anything. And I think that's because this only works with Bezier. Or I'm not actually allowed to add in new stuff like that. Okay, it's not doing anything. I feel like... What's going on here? Give me selection. Do I have the wrong tool selected? I had the cut selected. That's silly me. Oh, goodness. Grabbing the wrong stuff and thinking I got the right stuff. Talk about a problem. All right. So this should work. Let's pick our wall here, our proper wall. And that should be the proper one. So tab into edit mode. Let's make a circle. Let's just add in a circle. G, move it out over here. And it does work. It does work. That's fucking great. What have I made? We have 2 sticks, a tree of stone and mortar. This is giving me like decrepit forest vibes. Oh, wait, I'm not. Yes, I am. All right, this is a little slow in cycles right now. I should very much so deal with turning down my sample count here. Ooh, man, this is good. All right, where's my sample count? We're just gonna make you like 2. There, that should be a lot smoother. Yep, that's a lot faster. I'm going, where am I going? What am I doing? Is this going to be a lot smoother for me too? Scale it. Nah, it's still pretty fucking slow. All right, we'll save render view for later. Okay. I'm going to actually delete a lot of this wall, except for that guy. We're going to keep this guy right now. The reason why I'm doing that, and interesting, deleting all the other segments actually changed the shape of this individual part. And of course, my point of origin is going to be fucked up because I do things in a different way sometime. And we've got, come on, center, you stupid thing. So what we should be able to do is just close that off because I don't think I've got it closed. Cyclic, check. And we've got ourselves a circle. And let's actually turn the thing down a little bit. And we've got ourselves a nice looking thing. Now, where's my curve? There it is. I'm going to scale it up a little bigger and see what happens. Now we're getting weird double makes here. Is that something I did? Do I have two circles? I do have two circles. How on earth did that happen? Let's see. Can I select everything from that circle? All right, I got a better plan. We're going to make a new circle. And we're going to scale this one up. And this one's going to be a center wall. Pretty cool, right? I thought so too. And we're going to make this one height. That's the min height. I don't want to be adjusting the min height. I want to adjust that to 1. And I'm also going to select the curve here. I'm going to Shift D, duplicate that, tab it in, deselect these ones, delete those ones. You know what I'm saying? And I'm actually going to delete those ones on both of it. All right, good. So now I've got a ring, and I've got 2 rings. Oh. All right, so we got the plane here, and we got a mesh that's being deformed here by curves. So if I keep drawing with the same path, stone to curve. Okay, so I get to select my curve there. So I need to duplicate this. Duplicate. Shift D. Haha. Very cool. And then I'm going to pick 0, 1. Yes. Smart, big brain moves. But then I also need to make that new. So this is now a 0, 1 also. So when I go here, and I turn this on, and I grab it, I'm just going to do this in edit mode and scale it down. We got 2 walls, but now when I select this wall, I can only make that taller. And now we're getting something kind of like a castle tower. And that's pretty cool. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to duplicate this one more time. I'm going to duplicate this one more time when I get it selected. And I'm going to go to that, and then I'm going to also hit the 2 key, which is going to duplicate that one more time. So going to this guy, I'm going to scale him out. That wasn't supposed to happen. All right, scale that out. Did I just... All right, come on. What's happening here? There. 0, 0, 2. Haha. I made it too big. Why? Because my plane is too small. Let me scale this up. Sweet. All right, let's go to the first one. I want to, I don't know why that is in there. We're going to get rid of that. I want to make this one a little bigger. And I'm also going to make it thicker and taller and all that sweet jazz. We're going to make this one lower. This is like the outer thin wall. Face count 10. We're going to give that some of the modulus, and we're going to make the modulus at 5. And those are very tall modulus because I did something earlier. Where's my modulo? Oh goodness, what did I do? Does anybody remember in stream what I did? Don't remember what I did to make those so tall. How do I stop it? I did something. They're not supposed to be that tall. I made them that tall. Order offset? No. That's not it. What did I do? This one. It's got to be that one. That's it. Haha. Yes. No. Make you 1. It's too tall. Let's make you 0.5. Let's make you 0.3. Let's make you 0.08. And for your thickness, we've got some thickness to make here for the stones. They're too thin, they are. Let's see. Where's that stone thickness, stone gap? I think if I just increase that, we've got something that looks a lot thicker. Very good. We also want to make this a little taller before it hits the mortar. And I'm going to push that down a little. Actually, wait. Coat face. We're going to drop our coat face count. All right, we're getting a bit of stuff going on that's kind of cool. Let's make our faces different. It's going to lower that for now and make them thicker. They need to be thicker. Make the max up. And we got some thick walls. We'll make you guys thicker too. Let's drop the subsurf because it's a little easier on my computer. Okay. Now let's draw stuff, I guess, right? Where's my cool draw curve node? That must be it. That is it. Okay, we're just going to move that somewhere out of the way. Why is it going up? Let's put it there. All right, let's get into edit mode. And I'm just going to grab one of these, put it on the X, and now let's make a gap. Now I got to place this. I'm just going to extrude that down. And we aren't getting a full cut here. Why is that? Okay, let me try and do another extrusion then. There we go. We'll just push that off to the side. Yeah, get out of here. Nobody wants you. And then I'm just going to Shift D that one. And let's make a hole. If I can figure out where that's placing. I guess we got to move it up on the Z. And we were going to make ourselves a doorway. So it is really important to make sure that it's placed proper on the wall, or we're going to find ourselves not doing anything good with it. And we've got a bit of something happening there. I'm just going to extrude it again and then drag that over on the X. And that's good enough. Like, yeah, you know, you got to play with the shape a little bit to get sort of like maybe the hole that you want inside of there. And I can actually make this larger because I don't need to use that window for now. And I want to get some windows in this top tower, but first that top tower needs a doorway. So I'm going to Shift D and move these over. Come on. GY. And let me get out of this mode so I can actually see what I'm doing. GX. S. EX. Okay, we got a hole here. If I select all of these ones and just E on the Y, we're going to get like some good cuts, or is this going to be difficult because I made the wall so thick? Right now, it's looking a little difficult. Yeah, I don't know if this one's going to cut through so easy. Try these again. Delete those verts. Let me make this a little thinner. The width, drop that width down to a low-ranging positive number. And let's try again with our curves. GX. Undo. GX. What's going on? There we go. Now we got a hole. And now let's extrude them down. And let's actually rotate that 90 degrees. And we've actually got ourselves... Let me bring that back down. And we got a fairly open hole. So let's just like throw some windows in here. And we're going to move this actually up on the Z. And I guess we're going to work from here for now. And we got a window there. I'm going to extrude it up. And we're just going to duplicate this and place it randomly. Come on, where was that cut? It did such a good cut a second ago. There. Move them up. Got one over here. Quit hitting the H key. And then we're going to push this a little farther back. Move it a little farther up. And does rotating actually do anything? If I rotate it like that, can you actually rotate? That's fine. All right, then I just want to do a little quick something. And let me put in a light. Just do a point light. We're going to make it like really intense. Put on those shadow caustics. check out our render view. All right, that was a bad choice. Put that back off. Make that stronger than this. Give it like another 0. Increase its radius. And we're going to make this just brown for now because I don't want to deal with making a whole wood texture. Go back to our point. Let's just give it a color so we can see it a lot easier. All right, I guess we'll throw another 0 on. And we've got something pretty meaningfully created here. And I made that too big. Yeah, I'm just going to undo that. It's kind of messing with my cuts, actually. Yeah. Now there's a way to get that to... that's not the one I want. Okay, whatever. Yeah, this is really great. Let's take a look at some of these shaders here. Let's see, what time is it? Oh, shit. I gotta actually wrap this up pretty soon. You can also draw the deconstructive curve ruin with the draw tool set on the surface. With the draw tool set on the surface. Okay. Nice. Let me grab that then. I'm not in the right one. No, this one. Yes. Oh my god. Oh, dude, I'm having a big brain fart. I can't even figure out and remember how to do my stupid draw tool. It's this one, right? Yeah. God, what's my stupid face doing? Okay, so maybe from the Z? All right, it's not deforming to the surface off the like straight. Seems to just kind of be drawing in my window. Let me just undo those. You have to put it on top of surface. Less the viewport. Okay, so you mean I'm in edit mode. Got to put it on top of surface left, right? Pen symbol. Oh, hang on a second. I don't need that stuff selected. Deselect stuff. Pen tool. Oh, it's just, okay, wait. Why isn't this deforming? It's just kind of shooting underneath my stuff. What am I doing wrong? What am I missing here? All right, it still cuts. So that's good. But what am I... It's not deforming. Hang on a second. I feel like I'm missing something obvious. The pen symbol, yeah. Got the pen symbol. Tool set to on surface. Okay, so set my tool to on surface. Nope, Oh my god, I've actually never done that. Is that a modifier? No. Okay, then there is an option for surface. Oh. Okay. So then that's also hitting like the walls as a surface too. So if I don't want it to Okay, I think I kind of need to sort of, I guess, move it into or reposition it when it's drawn. So I draw it. Oh, it works. Didn't get a cut through that one, but then I could just GY and adjust it a little bit after I draw it. So that's not too bad. And we're able to get. Hmm. I think I think this mess is a mesh. Mesh is a mess right now. I think I might have adjusted the settings pretty poorly for that one. And I think this one might be a little bit too thick, but what if I just kind of, oh, yeah, I could just draw really heavy. And that seems to also work actually better than what I was doing before. So let me draw really heavy right there. And we got a good cut through. Okay, that doesn't seem to be, okay, finally, got a little cut. I think this is working mostly really good. It's more fun to just draw directly, but I think I did get a little quicker success hand positioning some stuff. And I would also be able to do that with fewer vertices, um, which I think would be better for the computer to not like have to calculate so much. Because when I have to do those circles like that and do all those extra points, that is extra calculation. But this is very fun. What if I just do a little arc? All right, yeah, see if I kind of need to like really scribble it in, which isn't so much an issue. And oh, Blender's getting fussy. I'm going to undo those. They didn't seem to cut through proper. Oh, thank you, plebes. Dude, you're so nice. Yeah, dude, no worries. This is all very new and kind of mystifying. So I'm sure the issue was probably with me not understanding what you were asking me to do. One thing I did notice actually while I was kind of messing around with this is I'm going to go to this view. Through a simple change of textures, this whole thing could be used for two things pretty easily. Number one, let me select a wall here. Get out of edit mode, go into object mode. Let me select this. And the mortar, let me get rid of the mortar. Let's just make that 0. Oh, that didn't do anything. 0. Nope. 0. And we're just going to make you... All right, just pretend that there's no mortar there. You know, just pulling the mortar out. What we have are these very good long shapes. And I can make them much more even. So let me do that real quick. I know it's in here. All right, just pretend I did it. This could really easy be a wonderful wood pile generator, like a pile of wood logs cut up for burning, because it just stacks them really nicely and they're all properly positioned. And this would simply be a, what do you call it? A material change. My God, can't fucking talk. Yeah, that mortar's really fun to mess with. And likewise, if the whole thing, what is it doing? Undo. Why did that happen? Distance multiplier. Let me just wanna adjust. Why am I fucking not? Oh, whoa. Whoa. What does that look like in render view? There's something interesting and possibilities with that, but I need to fix it because that's not what I wanted to do. The other possibility is like, dude, I'm blanking. I can't remember how to like control the width of those proper. What's wrong with me? Okay, that's the height. Stones. Wait, stone scale, stone min. Let's just make these the same. And here we go. Okay, that's what I was looking for. So if you were to just kind of take this and rotate it 90 degrees, so instead of plopping up on the z-axis, it was plopping up and just kind of laying flat on the floor. This is like a really wonderful cobblestone path generator if it's just rotated 90 degrees. In terms of like having the cuts that you already have come through, having a nice path identified with that cut would basically kind of be the same thing, a more reduced sort of, you wouldn't need so much control over like, you know, probably all the same stuff, but it's basically just kind of like the same thing rotated, not up on the z-axis, but going on the x and y. And that'd be like a really cool, good-looking path simulator. How often do I stream? Oh, man, not very often. I really try to be better about it. It's hard for me to find time, and then I get a lot of anxiety about streaming, and so then it's kind of like takes a lot out of me. All that cool stuff stresses me out a little. All that cool stuff. I'm trying to be better about it. I just put a simple circle in there. You could probably, in the way that you have this little on and off toggle set up like a switch, you know, to just have something turned off and on, you should be able to, without too much difficulty, select the top rim of like this mesh and just kind of have it close off, or just add a close off on the top, and that'd be a very easy house generator. Like cyclic. Where's that cyclic? That's actually a better example, because you got something that gets closed off that you can turn off and on. Cyclic 1, set it to 0, and you got something that's open as opposed to having something that's closed. And I'm sure there's probably more complexity to it than I'm sort of making it out to be, but that would be really easy to just kind of slap a nice looking texture on a flat surface and give it kind of a little closure, a little like stone pathway. I'm actually going to throw in a camera. I do need to close up this stream because I do got stuff I got to do. And this has already been about, how long has this been? An hour and a half? This is exactly what I was hoping to hit. So I'm going to set this up. I'm going to do a little render. And I'm going to change my focal length here. I don't like my focal length. Where's my camera? Okay. Move it back. Let's get like a good shot somewhere. Am I right? I want to flatten it out even more. Okay, that's too much. Okay, I'm not exactly getting the result I want. Why did I... That's not what I want. I want a render region. Just crop that stuff out. And I'm actually just going to change my end output. Do more of like a square. I'm going to do less of like a square. Maybe 1600 is what I want. Just kind of move this around. And we are going to change our scene value here. So I'm not actually going to render a scene world. So I'm just going to throw in a area light. And we're going to pump that juice up to like 1,000,000. Isn't that fun? Cast shadows. Wait, please, you already have a WallDraw. How did I not know that? I feel silly now. Let's put a little light on this. A bit blue. And now we don't need it that focused. Let's keep it at like 180. Drop that radius a little more. And then let's check out our materials. No. Let's put up the subsurf level even higher. And our resample length, let's set that even higher. And I should do that for this one as well. 0.5. And then where is that subsurf? We're going to set that subsurf up. I lost some of my windows when I brought up that resample length. Now I got a little spot in there. Let me fix that up. Let me just get rid of that. I don't like that piece. Tab in here. I think all I gotta do is just place a couple vertices right there. Things are getting a little slow. Oh yeah, this is slow. Oh, come on. All right. I'm going to end the stream, you guys, and have this picture posted up at some point. This has been such a blast. There's definitely a level in which the resample length might be useful to have it kind of clamped to the control so that you can't push it past a certain range. Because it does make it, that is probably the thing that's had me crash this multiple times as I was trying to figure it out. But this is a fantastic tool. Like, if anybody else is watching this who doesn't already know about it and is just tuning it in and viewing it for the first time, I recommend checking this out. and checking out Plebe's channel, and also looking at some of the other cool tools that he has made in the past. Because the dude is good at it, and he does good stuff. Alright guys, I hope you all have a good one. I'm gonna be posting this on Twitter, and goodbye.